What's up, guys? Welcome to another speed build. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we are over in Newcrest and I am building on a 20 by 15 lot, and we are building a basic suburban home. Yes, it is just a basic suburban, guys. What can I say? I love to build these houses. But this one honestly turned out super cute, and for it being only a 20 by 15 lot, I was actually able to fit quite a bit of bedrooms in this house. This house ended up being 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, and to be honest, that is kind of impressive. I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, guys, but 4 bedrooms in a 20 by 15, you guys have to give it to me. That is pretty impressive. And like I said, this house turned out pretty cute. The family that I imagined living in this house is a family of 5 consisting of 2 parents and 3 children, ranging from toddler all the way up to teenager. And actually the teenager, I designed their room a little bit different than I normally do for teens. I was imagining that this teen is just about to age up to young adult and go off to university, and so I decorated his room with the university that he really wants to go to and has wanted to go to pretty much his whole life. So that was pretty fun to do. I've never really done that before in The Sims. I figured by time the teenager reaches the age where they're almost going to university, what is the point of redoing their room? You know what I mean? So it was a fun change to do it in this house. Before I get into the backstory for this family, I do want to take a little bit of time to talk about the exterior of this build. I tend to get pretty deep into the storyline and then I kind of forget to talk about most of the build until I get to the very end, and then I try to like catch up a little bit. But I do want to talk about this particular exterior because I really enjoy the way that this one came out. I love like the stone mixed with the paneling. Not only in The Sims, but in real life, it looks really nice too. I usually do brick, but it was a fun change to do stone here instead. And this particular stone is actually from Horse Ranch, believe it or not. I usually use the growing together one if I do like a stone paneling combination on the outside of a house, but this one's from Horse Ranch, which is an interesting choice, but I love that stone. I think it is so pretty. I wish they gave us a few more swatches, but you know what? That's with anything here in The Sims. We always want more. What can we say? But the ones that they did give us, I think, are really good. They're kind of versatile. You can use them with a few different colors because they have a few shades in the stone, if that makes sense. So you can kind of pair it with like darker beige or lighter beige, maybe gray, maybe blue, depending on the swatch that you use. But this particular swatch has a lot of like beige notes in it, and so I love pairing it with this super light beige paneling like I did here. And these windows are actually from Get Famous. These are some of my favorite windows, to be totally honest. I don't use them too often, but I love how many choices they gave us in that pack that actually match each other. You guys know what I mean? Usually they give us like a whole bunch of different windows and packs, but they don't really match one another. Maybe some of them match, and then like the other ones over here, they kind of match. But in Get Famous, they did a great job of giving us different types of like normal house windows, like what I'm using here. They gave us like a row of 3 instead of us having to put like one after the other, you know? And then they gave us, you know, just a singular one. And I don't think they gave us a double, but you can put 2 singles together for a double. And then they gave us like one that is kind of like big and open, and I didn't actually use it in this build. I'm not really sure why. It's not my favorite out of the bunch. That's probably why. It didn't really match with the ones that I chose. That kind of contradicts what I was just saying, but it matches. It's not my favorite. But I did use the one. It is the same size of the 3 grouped together like I have at the bottom, but it's like a different design, but you can tell it goes together. Like, that is what I mean. They're different designs, but they go perfectly with each other, and I absolutely love that. I don't use these often enough. I really need to use them more, to be honest. But I am glad that I ended up using them here in this house. And by the way, the window that I was just talking about, I ended up using upstairs, so you probably seen the one I was trying to describe. It's not exactly like the 3 windows that look like they're in a row. It's like one whole window that is just designed differently. You guys probably seen it. But another thing that's good about those Get Famous windows is the fact that they're pretty cheap. Like, those are like really good starter home windows. This is not a starter home, but it is under 100,000, so is that considered budget friendly? I guess for like a 5-sim household, that's pretty good, you know, and a 20x15 lot. It's kind of, it's not the most budget friendly, but it's under 100K, so I guess that's something. So I started the landscaping in the front yard. Obviously, I didn't finish it. I really wanted to make sure the floor plan was pretty good before I finished the rest of the landscaping, but I wanted to get some down just so I could kind of see the finished product. And I am trying to expand my horizons with my landscaping, guys. This, you know, you're probably thinking like, girl, this looks like it always does, but I don't use those ferns very often, so it's a little bit different. I'm not using only flowers, so it's a little bit different, okay? It's different enough. It does look pretty cute. I do really like it. And I'm using different trees. I'm using the trees that you find a lot in Newcrest, so this world like matches Newcrest so well. I absolutely love to make my builds match the world that they're in as much as possible. I mean, there's always that time where you really want to build a specific thing and there's not a world to match it, and so you kind of just have to deal with it. You have to ignore all of the surroundings, you know? But in this case, like Newcrest, this is perfect for like a suburban house. And same with Willow Creek, but Willow Creek has a different kind of vibe to it. They have more of like a traditional style house more than like a suburban style, if that makes sense. I don't know exactly the type of house I'm trying to describe for Willow Creek, but you probably know what I mean. Willow Creek has a certain style of house that like when any simmer looks at a house like that, it reminds them of Willow Creek, you know? Same with Oasis Springs. Like Mediterranean is the best for Oasis Springs, and modern comes in a close second. I really prefer the Mediterranean style look for Oasis Springs over modern, but modern works too. I mean, that's my personal opinion though. I know a lot of people prefer the modern look for Oasis Springs. I really wish they would give us a new world that was more like Strange Town. When I first started playing The Sims 4, I thought Oasis Springs was like a version of Strange Town, but it's not. It's completely new. I really loved Strange Town in The Sims 2 though, and I guess Strangerville is kind of similar to it. The most similar that we have, but I just want Strange Town to be implemented in The Sims 4 and Pleasant View, and Veronaville for that matter, but Pleasant View and Strangetown would be my first 2 choices. I absolutely love those 2 neighborhoods. Like, how cool would it be to like get a pack that has Pleasant View 20, 30 years later, and like it has descendants of the old townies from Pleasant View? Like, how cool would that be? Like, I would buy that so quicker than I already do. That would be so awesome though. Like, let me not get too excited because I'm sure that'll never happen, but that would be so cool though, wouldn't it? But on another note, we are finished with the floor plan and we are now working on the kitchen, and I really love the way this kitchen turned out. I think it turned out so cute, and I'm keeping a lot of like light green or like sage green notes in this house. I love that color in The Sims. It is so pretty, and those chairs from Growing Together matched perfectly with these base game counters, so it was like too good not to use. And then the new like backsplash from, I was gonna say base game, but that might be actually from Growing Together now that I'm thinking about it. I mean, I could be wrong. Half the time when I tell you these packs, guys, I like re-watch it after I say it. I'm like, that's literally not, that's not the right pack, but forgive me. Maybe I need to stop listening to packs, but I'm pretty sure that is from Growing Together. And that color matched perfectly with these chairs. So the more stuff we're getting are actually matching more and more items. So I love the fact that they are doing that. It seems like they're sticking with the same like swatch palette now, when before they would be like all over the place from one pack to another. So I really enjoy the fact that everything's matching a lot more now. So as you can tell, this kitchen is really big and there's a lot going on in here. It looks like really homey. I really wanted to make this like the heart of the home, which most kitchens are like in real life. And I wanted to implement that here in The Sims 2. I love the way that this kitchen turned out. It turned out so cute. And I did that purposely. Why I spent so much time in here is because the dad is actually a chef. So this is like his sanctuary. This is his office. And he has loved cooking since he was younger. He used to cook in the kitchen with his mom all the time. And that is when he really fell in love with it. And so he's known for a long time now that when he became older and he had to get a job, he really wanted to work in the food industry. And another thing in the kitchen, I added that like green apple clock that you get when you unlock it in the education career track. I love that clock. I would use it all the time, honestly, if I could, but I really only like to use it when I'm building a house that has a teacher in it. And actually, I was thinking that the mom is a teacher. So the dad loves to cook, he's a chef, and the mom's career is a teacher. She has always loved children, working with kids, teaching kids, and so straight out of high school, she went to Brightchester to study her degree in education, and that is actually where she met her husband. He was studying to become a chef. And spoiler alert, that is actually where their son is going to go to university too. That is partly why he has known for so long that he wanted to go to Brightchester. This is kind of like a Brightchester family. Like, everyone in this family, they're Brightchester alumni, and their younger kids, once they age up, they will probably end up going to Brightchester too. The son, he is not 100% sure what he wants to major in yet, but he is actually a genius. He has the genius trait, and he's very argumentative. So he is thinking of becoming like a lawyer, maybe a judge, or something of this sort. He is on his school's chess team and computer team, and he is actually the captain of both. So he is a very smart kid, and he is a huge overachiever. And so I think becoming a lawyer is definitely in the books for him. And it is actually just about time for him to apply to one of the universities, and so he really needs to make up his mind relatively soon. It's been a long process. He has definitely spent a lot of like sleepless nights thinking about what he wants to do for the rest of his life. It's a big decision, you know, it definitely is, and he just wants to make sure he makes the right one. But with that being said, he cannot be more excited to head off to university, and his parents are so happy for him and proud of him. I mean, how could you not be proud of your child that is such a huge overachiever? And, you know, you would think he would be getting burnt out, but he is just, it's like built into him. He just, you know, he doesn't like to just sit there and do nothing. He likes to make the most out of his time. Like, he does enjoy playing video games, but he has like a streaming side business going on, and it's doing pretty well. So that will probably be what guides him through university and how he makes his money going through university, instead of just, you know, relying on his parents. So hopefully things keep going how they're going for him, and he excels in university as well. So we are now working on the living room. Before we did the living room, we worked on the dining room, and I decided to go ahead and match the chairs that I used as bar stools in the kitchen at the dining table too. I really You know, I wanted to change it up a little bit. I wanted them to match but not be exact, but I couldn't find any chairs that satisfied me other than these ones from Parenthood. So I said, you know what? They match perfectly, so why not use them? I don't use these chairs all the time anyways. Well, yes I do. I use the bar stools all the time. I don't use the actual table chairs all the time. There's something about the chairs that look a little like thick, cartoony maybe. So they throw me off a little bit, but they look pretty good in this house. It matches like almost too good not to use, so I figured why not. I also almost put a fishbowl in the like foyer of the house because I didn't know what else to put in that little corner, but my sim couldn't go past the table that I put the fishbowl on, so I decided to put some like regular pet bowls there instead. I didn't really have a preference for the type of animal that I put in this house, but there is no litter box and there is no like cat tree, so I guess that's safe to say that I was figuring a dog probably lives here. I did include a toy box for the dog outside, so I mean you could really pick and choose whichever one you want. You have bowls and you have a toy box outside. If you want a cat, you can just add the extra cat stuff like a litter box, and like I always like to add cat trees for my Sims cats. I don't know, I just love the cat trees, so I use them anytime I can, but they're like so big and hard to put in places, you know, so I don't use them as often as I would normally like to. So we've got the living room furnished now too, and it's, you know, it's a basic living room. I didn't really spend a whole lot of time in there, but I do really like the way that it turned out. I don't normally use that end table or like TV table from Dream Home Decorator very often, but I love that TV table. However, I do end up moving it from the living room and I put it over into the master bedroom, mainly because we have a fireplace, or a chimney I should say, in this build, and if I can help it, I don't like to add like fake chimneys. If I have a chimney, then I always like to add a fireplace, or at least try to, and so I end up moving that end table over into the master bedroom so that I can put a fireplace in the living room. So now that I'm going through this build, I am remembering that we actually have more than 2 bathrooms. We actually have like 3.5. I put a half bath next to the living room as like the restroom where like guests use, or if one of the Sims that live here really need to go to the bathroom but the others are taken, they can use that one too. And then we have the master right next to it, and it's a small master bathroom, but it gets the job done, and that is all that matters. I included a shower and a toilet and a sink, and so since they are so small, I furnished those bathrooms super quick. And then upstairs we have 2 additional bathrooms, and those are full-size bathrooms. One, I figured the child and toddler, once the toddler ages up, could share that particular bathroom, and then the teenager, he's lucky, he actually gets his own bathroom in his room. And once he goes off to college, then I could totally see the child taking over his bedroom so that she could have her own personal bathroom too. So there's more than enough bathrooms in this house. There's more than enough places that your Sim can relieve themselves. And that's always good. I mean, I would rather have more than enough than not enough, you know? Although it does make for some interesting gameplay if you have like a house full of Sims, like 8 Sims, and there's 1 bathroom. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of Sims that are having accidents. Or at the very least, going outside and using a bush in the backyard. So on another note, I talked about the mom being a teacher, but I haven't really talked about any hobbies that she has, and we do have this extra bedroom. Which leads me to say that not only did I say the wrong number of bathrooms, but technically I said the wrong number of bedrooms too, but this I'm not really using as a bedroom, so I guess I get a pass on that one. I'm using it as a pottery making studio / room, And this is the mom's favorite hobby. Like when she's not teaching, when she's not hanging out with the family, if she needs to like get her mind off of things, she loves to come over here in her personal pottery making studio and just make pottery to her heart's content. And this is actually something that she used to do with her dad growing up. Like he was like a huge pottery maker. That was actually his profession. And he would sell the pieces that he made. And so she has a lot of like fond childhood memories making pottery with her dad and him teaching her all of the tips and tricks to making pottery. And so you'll see me place a whole bunch of different items from the businesses and hobbies expansion pack, like the pottery items, and I am just filling up the house to make it look like she actually spends a lot of time making items in there. But yeah, like I was saying, she has a lot of fond memories making pottery items with her dad. And her dad is actually, sadly enough, passed away at this point. And so I included a little like memorial picture from life and death next to her pottery table. And I figured that is probably where her dad's picture is. I also included at the kitchen table one of those like flower pressers that came with Enchanted by Nature. I don't know exactly what it's called, but you press flowers in it. I'm sure you guys know what I mean. I included that at the kitchen table because I can picture the mom pressing the flowers that the dad grows in their garden. So the dad not only enjoys cooking, but he really likes gardening too. He mainly likes to garden like fruits and veggies and herbs that he can use to cook with, but he also really enjoys growing different flowers too. And I can see the wife just going out there and picking her favorite flowers and pressing them in the little like pressing book. And so I was sure to include different of those like flower portraits on the walls throughout the house too. But that is all as far as the downstairs furnishings go. We are now working upstairs, and I already have the teens' bathroom done. I really tried to make it look like that was obviously a teens' bathroom, but it's super small, so I only had such a small area to work with. But I included one of those mirrors from high school years. I believe it's from high school years. And it has like different stickers on there. I love including those mirrors in like teen or child specific bathrooms because it looks exactly like what you would imagine a teen's bathroom mirror to look like, you know, with stickers everywhere. I just love that little touch. And you guys probably seen, but I also included like the little cup with the retainer in there. It came from one of the clutter kits, but I just love that little like piece of detail. It's like obvious a teen is in there because it's like a retainer just sitting in a jar or a glass of like water, I guess. Like, is that a thing? I do have Invisalign, but we have like plastic retainers and I don't keep it in a glass of water. I just feel like that would grow like bacteria on it. So is that like a thing with retainers? Because I've never had braces, so I have no idea. But I do love that little like detail. I do know that they also have a swatch that is like a pair of dentures too. And I want to say that I do believe that like that is a real thing. Like people with dentures will put their dentures in like a glass of water, maybe to keep it moist or something. I just feel like that is like a breeding ground for bacteria, but who knows? I'm not a doctor, so I probably am wrong. But I feel like it's super cute. It's like a super cute like little detail to really show the kind of sim that goes to that specific bathroom, whether it's an elder or a teen or whoever. And then the other bathroom upstairs, I included a shower tub combo because we desperately needed one. We have a toddler in this house and we have to have a tub if we have a toddler, or else the toddler is stinky 24/7 and we don't want that. We don't want the Sims, you know, social worker to be called at all. No, that's not fun. It's actually quite sad. Like, I've felt that way ever since I've played The Sims 2 as a kid. Like, it always saddened me so much if I failed my Sims family in the social worker game. I don't think it's happened to me in The Sims 4 yet, but it definitely did in The Sims 2 because I was a kid back then, so it was hard for me to control their needs. And also, even playing The Sims 2 as an adult, it's hard. Like, you have to make them eat like 5 sandwiches for their hunger need to go up. Like, I wonder if that's a bug. It probably is, but The Sims 2 is definitely harder than The Sims 4, so I could see why my child self always failed at parenting and always had all 6 of my Sims children be taken by the social worker at the same time. And then I just have her get pregnant again. Oh yeah, The Sims. The Sims is so fun. But we are now working on the teens room, and as you can see, I do have a Brightchester theme going on. But before I talk too much about the teens room, I just want to talk about the toddlers room because I quickly designed that one while I was talking about the bathroom and the retainer and the cup situation. I really tried to make this toddler room different, and I used that wallpaper from like one of the kits. It's Cute Something, or I don't know what it's called, but it's the one that Plumbella made, and I love that kit. It's super, super cute. It definitely matches the theme that it has going on, and that wallpaper is so adorable. I love to use that wallpaper in like my toddler's rooms or my child room or teen or whatever. If it's a sim that really likes like cutesy sort of things, I love to use that wallpaper. And the rug that matches, I love using those at the same time because it makes it look so good and cohesive. And I also was able to use that Eco Lifestyle bed. I love that toddler bed from Eco Lifestyle. I wish that we would get more just like it. We do have another one. I think it came with werewolves, if I'm not mistaken, or Life and Death came with one too, but both of those have like little skulls on it, or the one from Werewolves has like a blanket where it looks like different blankets were woven together because, you know, it's a werewolf. They don't like work. They probably just get scraps from a dumpster and make it work. And so I don't really have a lot of builds that match that aesthetic, and so I don't get to use those beds very often. Same with the Eco Lifestyle one. That's another one that has like cloths woven together to make a new blanket, probably from dumpster diving. But I do really like the way that it has like a canopy over it. I think that is so cute, so I decided to go ahead and use it in this build. And then I included like a horse picture on the wall. I don't know. I didn't know what else to put there, so I put that there. And then I just put some like different toddler toys and stuff. I also included a toddler potty in a bathroom upstairs and the guest bathroom downstairs too, like that half bath that I made. And that's about it for the toddler. I mean, it's a normal toddler. Nothing really to say there. But we are almost done with the teens room already, but I love the way that this teens room came out. The fact that I made it like Brightchester theme and told the story of this teen is about to go off to college and they've always loved Brightchester. This whole family is like a Brightchester alumni. I just love that storyline, and I love the way that this room came out. I really wanted to put some decorations on the door because I'm using this door from high school years, and I'm sure you guys have already, you know, heard this from me by now, but I hate the fact that there's only one swatch that is like male specific. Like, I wish that they had more like masculine door swatches for that particular door where it has like decorations on it like a teen would do. There's literally one that is masculine, and I totally hate that, and it's definitely a missed opportunity. Not every male sim likes, you know, video games or sports and video games, so I really wish that they had more options there. But at the end of the day, I wanted the door to have some sort of decoration, so I chose that one swatch that the male sims get. But like I was saying, that particular teen is on his school's chess team and computer team because he's super smart. And so I included some of those like flags on his wall, and then an additional like poster from high school years. I just needed to fill up the space a little bit. But he has a lot of like decorations and stuff on his computer desk. He spends a lot of time there Whether it being research on his computer, or maybe he's doing a little like blog, or like I said, he is a streamer, like he streams the video games that he likes to play for a little bit of side money, and so I really tried to portray that in his room. I also put like a can of soda next to his bed. I just love to do that, like little piece of detail in my teens' rooms. It just feels so realistic. Like, what teen doesn't leave like their empty soda cans next to their bed? I feel like most of them do, and then their parents come in and yell at them about it. But that is it as far as the teens room goes. We are now working and finishing up on the child's room, and obviously I made this child's room very cutesy too, just like the toddler's room. I love the way that this one turned out. I have been dying to use this particular bed and this particular swatch from high school years. I have yet been able to use it, but I love how it's like pastel goth in a way, you know, because there's like skull and bones on it, but it's pastel blue and pastel pink, and I think it's so cute. It's something that I would have loved when I was younger. That was like exactly my vibe when I was younger. I also never include the Scouts board when I am doing kids' rooms, and that is not because I don't like Scouts in The Sims. I actually really like it, to be honest. It's really beneficial for your Sims, for like setting them up for like a really good adulthoods, and so I love to include that in my gameplay. I just always forget about it, to be honest, and it's hard to make look cute in kids' rooms, but I think it looks pretty cute in the way that I used it here. That particular wall was like diagonaled, and so that was the perfect thing to put against that wall. Something else I always forget to include in like my kids' rooms, I just totally forget that it exists, is the little like void critter board where your Sims kid could play with a friend or a sibling on it, and like almost like Pokemon, you know? They battle void critters. I guess there's a few reasons I don't use it. I forget about it, number one. Number two, it's hard to really fit in a room unless you have a gigantic room. And three, I despise the fact that they didn't tie any sort of like skill to it. No skill to it, or like part of the parenthood pack where you can work on your manners or your emotional control. They didn't tie it to that system either, and so there's literally like no use for it other than working on your Sims fun need, and at that point you can use another skill building item. Like you can up their video gaming skill or their motor skill by working on the monkey bars. Like there's so many other things that you can up their fun need on while also working on a skill. So yeah, I really never use that void critter machine for that reason, but I thought it was cute in this build, so I included it. As far as like the hobbies for that child, they just really love working on their scouts and fulfilling all of the badges. They really want to be like the top tier scout and earn all of the badges. And they also love working out here with their dad in their dad's garden. That particular child is definitely a daddy's girl. Like she loves spending time with her dad. But that is it as far as the inside furnishings go. We are completely done furnishing the inside. We are now in the backyard working on the exterior of the build, and we are almost done out here too. As you can see, I am including plenty of gardening planter boxes and pots all around the build. I also included my all-time favorite tree in the game, and it's the one from movie hangout stuff. I love the lanterns that hang from that tree. I think it is so pretty, and it makes me want to do it in real life, to be honest. Like, how beautiful is that? And then, of course, I had to include plenty of landscaping. Also, a grill. No Sims house is complete without a grill. I don't care what anybody says. It is an important part of a family's house as far as like their outside backyard goes. And then I love to include like different details next to the grill, like a table with the grilling utensils and some barbecue sauces. I love doing that. I think it is so cute. And then I also included like the big table and chair set from I think perfect patio backyard stuff. It's from Backyard Stuff. I love that umbrella table. It's so pretty how it's like translucent. There is also a version that is solid with different designs on it, and I usually use that particular version of that table, but it was a really nice change to use this translucent one instead. And there is a secret tree that this family has. It is something that the dad actually grew from a little tiny like simoleon coin, and it is a money tree, and now they are making plenty of money, not only working but growing money off of this money tree. I mean, they are literally living the dream by having a literal money tree. Like, what else can you ask for? But that is pretty much it for the build. I am now just adding some last minute terrain paint, and that will complete the whole build. So I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Of course, if you did, please do not forget to leave a like. It definitely helps my channel, and it helps the algorithm push this out to other simmers. And also subscribe if you have not already. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys that takes the time to watch my videos and interact with me down in the comments below. It really truly means so much more than you guys could ever know. I hope you have an amazing day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!